Hey everybody, this is Ryan Schumacher here with the Module 5 practice. So I start off with the rich planning tool, and I said in order for students to understand how a simple circuit can be used to power an object, so instead of asking them to just watch a video that shows them a step-by-step process, I figured why not invite them to design their own workable headlamp with a group that can be used in situations when the power goes out. So in part of the ask part of the engineering design process, we're asked to identify and research a need. So obviously looking at the paper circuit, what could I build first? And then just as the rich task planning tool said, I figured that we would create a working headlamp that would allow us to see if the power were to go out. So to imagine in terms of developing possible solutions, I thought about headlamps, I thought about flashlights, even like some type of light box that would light up in the case that it would resemble a lamp in this case. But I ultimately went with a headlamp. So in my planning part to make a prototype, the materials that I used was cardboard. I primarily used tape, but you could also use glue if it was a little bit easier if you had more time. And then obviously the paper circuit. So this image here kind of outlines the front of it, the sides of the headlamp that would wrap around your head in any case. In terms of creating and testing it, like I said, I used a lot of cardboard to measure it. I used tape to kind of put things together. It wasn't perfect the way the cardboard had made it, but ultimately this is what it looked like when I was able to make the circuit. It kind of looks kind of bulky, and I think going over things in the future, things would definitely change, but definitely lit up. I went into the bathroom and I was able to kind of see in the dark here. This is what it kind of looks like here on its own with one light. I do have a video here at some point, it will come up, where you can kind of see where I show the difference between it being completely pitch black versus using the headlamp and being able to see a little bit better. In terms of modifying it, I figured that we would obviously provide more LED lights. So that's what I did. I put more lights on it onto the circuit. The other thing I did was creating a scope almost, kind of like a visual, to kind of allow the light just to travel down the one path in this case, or even provide a different headlamp material so that maybe you use the front of the piece as cardboard, but then you attach string on the sides and wrap it around your head instead, so it's not so bulky in this case. And lastly, in terms of the LED lights, I thought about maybe making the lights a little bit bigger in this case so that it'd be a little bit brighter. In terms of the Design Tool 5.1 STEM lesson specifications, I really enjoyed it, and I thought it does present a real world problem and a challenge for students that they can obviously relate to. So 1 and 2 kind of check the boxes. They can also, for 3 and 4, they can be creative in how they want to design it, in the way they want it to look. It does imply and integrate science and math, a lot of measurements and math, learning about simple circuits and science. It obviously uses the engineering design process as it asks them to kind of be really creative and think outside the box and what they would kind of use. Definitely student-centered. They have that background information of how to use a circuit probably in the first place, but then they kind of get to explore on their own. Obviously, they get to make a model and make a prototype. Technology isn't used a whole lot besides maybe just understanding how a simple circuit works. They're obviously engaged in purposeful teamwork. If you work in groups, they get to test and evaluate just as I did, and they are definitely communicating their results to see if it would work in any situation. But overall, I really enjoyed it, and I had a lot of fun on kind of designing my own headlamp in this case. And I'm curious to see what everyone else does. Thanks.